Real quick, good week again. Got 3 visitors. Wanted to introduce them to you guys. One of the things that we did back in, I think it was in June, right? There was a real nice event in downtown Manhattan where Joe Vitt and I participated in a big ALS charity event. And Joe and I were sitting there all night long watching. There was some unbelievable auction items that were there for that stuff, and Joe and I were looking back and forth at each other, but I couldn't believe that, for what they were going for. There was some great buys, trips all over the world, and for how little they were going. So Joe says, "You want to do this?" I had no idea what Joe was talking about, but I knew it had to be something. So we ended up doing, and he and I got up on stage impromptu and did a Jets experience. And so we sold for way over $20,000 for these guys to come and participate all week long. They've been in staff meetings, they've been in player meetings, grading meetings, and been at all the practices. And they'll go to the game, and they got a chance to choose the game. So it's Dan, Devin, and Nate back here. You guys want to holler at them or something like that later and help us get more money. Steve Gleason's very close to our heart, and that was for the Saints. And they started doing, as you see, defend Steve Gleason. Dan's had that going on for a long time, and he started doing it way before some of the other people up here started doing it. And it's a great event. And I'm addicted to charity anyway. I have my huge foundation for kids and try to help out as much as we can when we can. And it was a fantastic event. So next year when we do it, hopefully it'll be even better because we have witnesses now on what they have been able to do. The other prerequisite was for them to come and sit in the meetings, especially the staff meetings and the player meetings with me, is if they were allergic to the F word, they had to get a prescription. So I think the Walgreens sold out, and they've made it all week long, and it's been good. Questions?
So if we all combine our money next year for $20,000, we could all come in to see.
You could come in. Yes, you could do that. That would be great. That was a pretty good idea. Yeah, and I would have to say yes. Yes, I would have to do that. And don't be surprised about how intense and good the meetings are. Yep.
Greg, Dallas obviously has a lot of weapons on offense. What jumps out at you when you turn the film on this week?
Have a lot of respect for what they do and how they go about doing it. Been in that division before too, with all the different places I've been. But they do a good job with the presence of running the football first. And when you do that, that also sets up so many other things for the quarterback. And I think Zach's done a great job of continuing on. I was, when his rookie year, we had a chance to go against him in the preseason and had a chance to see him develop and practice against him in the preseason when we were all out there in L.A. together. At that time, I was with the Rams, and so I've seen him grow. But Ezekiel, runs the ball very physically, that offensive line. We've had now back-to-back weeks. All these offensive lines have been good, but, last week was a pretty dominant one, and this week here too. And so we've got to do a good job on playing the run game, but also, as you see, they're the number 1 offense in the league for a reason, and he's doing a really good job on throwing the deep ball. He's done a very good job on stretching the tops of coverage out. And those things come up when people maybe happen to overcompensate at time or take their eyes off of something they shouldn't be looking at in the run game to be able to go up on top on some of the play actions. So they've done good, and they've done a very good job on complimenting the people they have. It's also been good to see, spending some time last year when Jason Witten was in your all's profession, and now he's gone back and, still doing the same good things he was doing. He's got great hands and got a great feel for reading coverage. He plays the tight end position like a quarterback, and you can see he and Zach being on the same page, and there's a concentrated effort to get him the ball on certain areas of the field, certain times in the game.
You were talking about the fact that they like to go deep and get effective at it. In the last game, there was a play where Aguilar got behind everybody. How does that happen, and how do you prevent that?
Well, the big thing is that's time, to get the throw, and then if somebody's eyes, got crossed up. And so the big thing in the coverage parts of it is don't let it happen. And that was on a long situation. And we were playing a specific kind of a style of defense where the ball's got to come out a little bit quicker. Ball came out pretty quick, but that's our eyes and our technique were not right on that particular play, and it's been one of the things all week long. In fact, we ran that same play today in practice, and we got to correct those things.
What led to Tremaine getting that?
Well, he's been fine. You know, he and I have a very good relationship, and the big thing is that every day is a competition. Every day you'll come to work, and so he's been doing great and played well last week too.
Greg, we look at the stat sheet, you know, and we look at the snap counts, and we see Leonard Williams played like probably around 50 snaps, and he only had 1 tackle.
Playing unbelievable. You know, one of the things that we do is that we do what we call pass out a hard hat award a lot of times too, and basically what that is that the guys that are doing the dirty work, the guys that are doing all the knockback, the guys that are preventing, you know, blocks to get up to the second level, the guys who are, you know, knocking the protection back so the quarterback can't step up. You know, he's graded out very well on how we grade film, and he's done, you know, I love coaching him, and he plays extremely solid. He has a great understanding of leverage, and he enjoys the way we go about cutting those guys loose up front to, you know, to play in the run situations. And you'll see a lot of the protection slid his direction at time too, where he's now, you know, not only taking care of his own guy, but going to the help guy and having to make a move or doing something on him. But he's played well. He really has played well. He's graded out high each and every week and doing things that maybe not show up on those things, but doing things schematically and team-wise that you have to do.
Greg, numbers-wise, you guys have been pretty productive defensively, even without CJ for basically the whole season. Mm-hmm. How much better do you think, I know he's not playing this week, but how much better do you think you can be?
I think it's a really good question, and it's a good time to answer this part of it too. CJ has impressed everybody in this building on how he has prepared each and every week as if he's playing, and all the study. For instance, there's a meeting going to be going on at 1:10 here in a minute where it's players only. And if I'd have patented this a long time ago, I wouldn't be, wouldn't have to coach either. But we have a big virtual reality room where I started this a long time ago. Bobby Ross at West Point taught me how to do this when he was the head coach at West Point, and how you get guys to be able to play the game up on a big screen as if they were playing the game without the contact, and the speed of practice film and all that kind of stuff. So they got a cut up going on in there that CJ builds every week, and CJ runs a meeting at the end of the week as if he's me. And that position, the middle linebacker position, is an extension of the coordinator in what we do. He's prepared every single week, and there's not been one thing, okay, that the mind is before the body. And you have to continue to keep that toughness, that alertness going at all times, and it helps you in the rehab process too. So he's done an outstanding job. He's been a coach on game day. I assign him certain things to do, and he's been remarkable on how he's been that voice. Sometimes Neville will talk to CJ and say something that he won't say to me because he's afraid he'd piss me off. But he's not going to piss me off on game day. I got to help him during practice. I get mad on practice to put stress on you, so you're battling the stress, okay? CJ's done an outstanding job. Now, the next step is, how you like Nev? Nev's played very well too, and that when CJ comes back and now Nev slides back over into the other position, and now he's situational sub cash, every single thing in the next man up philosophy is proven in all the places I've been before, and these reps are contagious. Okay, and they spread throughout the team on guys getting those next man up type things. We've done a pretty good job with this, and we try to as much as possible on however many defensive line, keeping that as even or the 60-40 split we can. And then all the linebackers and DBs that aren't in a package, but we have packages for them, but maybe we don't call as much, they're full-time four-way starters on all the special team stuff too. So been real impressed with the depth that we have there. We've been doing some really good things. I typically don't do it, but this was good timing today. I put a lot of different rankings up on the screen today, and all the guys were looking at number one, number two, 3, 4, 5. You know, I mean, all these different things, and they're a good group in there. And I said that when I first came here. You know, I wanted to come here because they were here, and they're begging to be coached. They're begging to do it a certain way. And you know, one of the things that maybe you guys don't have access to, but you know, by far we're number one in the National Football League in swarm to the ball. You know, now with all that GPS that's in the back of it, it's not even close. You know, and I say what I mean what I say. You don't do that, they come work for you guys. I ain't playing for us. Don't care how much money they make. They got to do a certain thing, and they've bought into that. I don't have to say that anymore. They take so much pride when they see that ranking up there, okay, and they're looking to get it higher and higher and higher and higher so that nobody can catch them in that kind of a thing. So there's been a lot of good things. CJ, Neville, a lot of good things there. Quinnen's coming back. Jinx, okay, Jinx has had a good practice this week. He really has. Okay, Cope's back, so we'll see. We got some decisions to make on that too. Been teasing him about his thumb, but okay, but he's back, and a lot of good things going on there.
What is Kyle Phillips? What has Kyle Phillips shown you that he's gotten a bigger role?
Has he caught your all's attention too? And I love the fact of all these guys that are undrafted and everything. Why didn't somebody else draft him? You know, why does he all of a sudden get a chance to play? A very intelligent, powerful, multi-dynamic player. Can play multiple positions, has enough power in his body. When I say everybody has to play 2 positions, that young man can play 3 and has already started a 4th position for us and not slow down. And, you know, he can play stand-up. He's pretty good size outside linebacker when you see that big fat butt stand up out there. You know, and then he can do that stuff, move inside to 3, move inside to nose, play the defensive end position. So he's done very well. And his toughness first, his focus second, his intensity on that, but the fact that he's multidimensional and he can be the next man up in lots of different places, he's a good young man. He really is. And I think you just continue to see him grow.
You said you have some decisions to make, but what can Copeland and Jenkins add to you?
Well, the whole thing is it's getting back in there. You know, they've got some good change of space. They've got some good power. You know, I heard a stat a few weeks ago. I was sitting in there doing some notes, and I heard ESPN say something up on the screen where Jinx last year in a stat was 3rd in the National Football League on snap to contact on a quarterback, whether it be hits or sacks in the league last year. Aaron Donald 1, J.J. Watts 2, Jinx 3. That ain't bad. You know, so the worst thing I could do would be slow him down, wouldn't it? And but he's sped up, but he's extremely powerful and can play multi-positions too. So hopefully, and they have the respect of people in the room. It's one thing, you know, for people like to when they see him dressed in a uniform on game day, but you gotta bust your tail in the meeting room, in the locker room, in the weight room, in the practice to have and garner the respect of teammates that are going to battle with you. Jinx has everybody's attention. By the way, you know, there was a little scuffle at practice today. He couldn't help himself. You know, he's got another fight. I said, that's good. As long as you win them, you stay on defense. When you lose them, you go to offense. All right? See ya.